gonna sit on our roller. I'm gonna scoot back so you can see my full body. And we're gonna start seated on the roller. This is only 30 minutes of foam rolling, so we'll get all the major parts. We won't be able to get into all the intricate parts, but have a seat on your foam roller, crossing that left ankle over the right knee. I'm going to lift up, shift, sit onto my glute, grab my knee with my right hand, and roll. Well, Alessandro said something. I can't see what he said. Let me see. You guys keep rolling. Alessandro says, just lurking between meetings. All right. Well, you should roll between meetings. Like you can roll and do a meeting. I'm just saying. So we're gonna roll, making sure that we get the full glute. So we want all of the glute, not just one part, not just the hip. Try to not roll myself out of the screen. Sorry for this boring background. Since I'm at home, I moved my couch so you guys would have a blank background in order to see, hopefully see me better. So I'm at like 30 seconds here on this side, and then we'll switch to the other side. I'm gonna flip around the other way just so you guys will be able to see me, but all you need to do is stay where you're at and switch your legs. Nice. Some of you are probably feeling kind of sore, right? Are you feeling sore from all the workouts you've been doing? I know, Sarah, you've been killing it. You're on like 2 and 3 workouts a day. I love it. Alessandra's been mimosaing it for a couple days now, I think. Good. And then switch to the other side. As I mentioned, all you need to do is switch here. I'm just going to flip around so you guys can see me. And again, that left hand on the right knee this time, right hand on the ground. You probably have one side that's a little more sore than the other. Totally normal. Also, if you've been spending a lot of time seated, as you've been stuck in the house and we haven't been able to move enough, this one will be super important because your glutes can literally stop firing. Meaning, when you go to do a movement that you are supposed to engage your glutes first, like they will not fire. You'll have to make up the difference with hamstrings, hip flexors, quads, other big muscle movers in order to do the movement. So we always want to make sure that whenever you spend a lot of time seated, that you're taking the time to reactivate glutes and other muscles. Here for about 30 more seconds. Again, if there's a spot that's like particularly sensitive, you can hang out there and do little small rolls. We want to release those trigger points so that we can get through full ranges of motion. Nice. All right, we are going to go to IT bands next, usually the most painful for everybody. Because unfortunately it doesn't film well in landscape, only in portrait, my head will get cut off a little bit. You know what I look like though, so you'll be okay. Main part is I want you to be able to see my legs. So we are going to come off that roller. Make sure you have enough space. You're going to bring that roller right to your hip. So it's right at my hip. I'm crossing my top leg over. Right now I'm on my right side. So right leg is straight. I'm not doing anything with that leg. Top leg is bent. I am using that to push. I will be walking my hands forward. You'll see me walk myself right off the screen, but you'll be able to see my legs. So push with the left leg, walk yourself forward. You're making your way all the way to your knee and then all the way back to your hip. So to the knee, to the hip. I'll scoot myself down just a little bit. Again, make sure you're breathing, super important. If you have any sensitive spots, find one. Let's all find one. Find a sensitive spot, little mini rolls right there. Back and forth, breathing. We're gonna be here for 30 seconds. And then when we roll again, hopefully you will see that some of that discomfort is dissipated. Nice. Here for about 15 more seconds. Breathe. And get ready to roll from all the way from the hip to the knee. Let's do it. So from the hip all the way to the knee. Remember, leave the leg that we're rolling just relaxed. And all the way back. 2 more passes. All the way up. It's not super fast. You're not going to get any benefits if you try to speed through it. Good. One more time. Beautiful. And good. Let's switch to the other side. Again, I'm turning around. You don't have to turn around. You can just stay right where you're at and just flip over, face the other direction. So starting right on that hip, rolling, let me scoot myself down. Rolling all the way to the knee, using that top leg to push. It should take you like, I don't know, 3 seconds, right? Not super long, so you aren't going incredibly slow, but it's not fast either to get from your hip to your knee. Enough time to really find where some of those trigger points are located. Breathe. And again, we're gonna find one and we're gonna hang out there. So like for me, I have one right here. So I'm gonna hang out here and do little rolls, 30 seconds. And those trigger points might be in completely different spots on each leg, totally fine. Trigger points are formed from overuse, from trauma. Those are kind of the 2 main things. So maybe I played soccer my whole life. So maybe you get kicked or kneed or something there, right? On this side, it didn't happen on the other side. Maybe you sit cross-legged on one side more than the other. All reasons why you can form trigger points. All right, and roll from hip to knee. Keep going. We're gonna do 3 more all the way. One more. Then we're gonna actually go to the inner thigh before we go to the lateral quad. So I'm gonna give you a little break. Good. All right, so I'm gonna take my roller. I'm gonna set it perpendicular to my leg, right? So it's gonna go at an angle. I'm gonna be what feels like face down. My leg is kind of going at this angle. My roller is going at this angle, right? So we're gonna start at the knee and we're gonna roll as close into kind of the groin as we can. Let me know if you can't really tell what I'm doing. Need a little more roller on there. But I'm getting my adductor, my inner thigh, and you will find that most of the time, the closer it gets to the knee, kind of the more uncomfortable it is. And that's because we have all those insertion points, like all those different muscles from the quads, from the hamstrings, all coming in and connecting in around the knee. And we definitely don't roll enough. We definitely don't do the things we're supposed to do to take care of our bodies. So it kind of all builds up there. 3 more passes, then we'll do the other side. My roller's moving around. I'm moving around a little bit, sorry. Last one. Good, switch to the other side. Remember, roller perpendicular. And roll as close kind of into the groin as you can. And find those spots, find those little spots that are like just a little sensitive. Spend a little more time there. Whether you actually physically stop there and do little rolls, or you're just more conscious of rolling over that area, we want it to release because we want you to be able to go through full ranges of motion. And when we release these trigger points, that's exactly what happens. It allows our joints and our muscles to actually move a little bit more freely. It allows us to be able to prevent injury. It allows us to improve our athletic performance and your recovery, because if you don't already have a trauma there, it's easier to recover from the trauma of exercise, which people don't realize exercise is actually a form of trauma on the body that we recover from and are actually stronger. Keep going. About 2 more. Breathe. 1 more. And then we're going to go to that lateral quad that I was talking about earlier. So, lateral quad. Turn and face you guys again. I am going to be rolling. Here's my IT band here on the side. Here's the front of my quad. Essentially, that space between my hands. So, right here, from the hip down to the knee. The way we get there is by going to our IT band, so like flat on the side. From there, I'm going to do a quarter turn towards you, quarter turn. So now I'm hitting that space. I'm hitting that lateral quad that's between the top of the thigh and the IT band. Let me start a little lower so you guys can see me. If you are a runner or you spend a lot of time spinning, this is probably very sore for you. Take your time. Like for me, from years of being a professional runner and just a runner in general, as well as now teaching what feels like a million spin classes, mine's definitely sore. Breathe. Never hold your breath. We want oxygen flowing. We want that good healthy blood to those areas to promote healing from any traumas that we're breaking up. Now find a spot. Everybody has one on this one. Let's hang out there for 30 seconds. Whew. It's uncomfortable, just breathe through it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. "30 seconds always feels like forever when I'm on one of these spots. Good job. Keep moving, about 10 more seconds. Little rolls. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just roll all the way. 2 more times, all the way. From the knee to the hip. That sensitive spot should be a little less sensitive. Last one. Whew. Okay, I'm like breaking up a sweat. It might also be because I'm cold all the time and I keep my house at 80, but you know. All right, other side. So my poor husband, he's like, I like want it to feel like Costa Rica here all the time. He's always dying. All right, other side. Start at the hip, quarter turn towards you, and roll. Again, sorry I'm rolling off the screen. I wish that they would figure out a way to do Facebook Live sideways where it actually looks nice when you view it. Ooh. What's worse for you guys, right side, left side? You can't really tell me because you would have to stop what you were doing to type, but sometimes I feel like it's my left, then other times I feel like it's my right. It always moves around. Breathe. We're going to end up finding a spot again here in about 2 more passes where we're going to hang out, try and release some of that trigger point. It's like an onion, you're peeling off layers. So the work we do today, compounded with the work tomorrow, and so on and so forth, is what is going to eventually get rid of it. All right, find that spot. I'm gonna hang out down here for a minute. Breathe. Hopefully this will help you as you go through more workouts today or the rest of the week, feeling like you got rid of some of that stress and tension, both like from an emotional standpoint based on everything that's going on, as well as physically, because you guys are working out so hard from home. I'm loving it. And I'm so glad we were able to figure out this platform for everybody. Good, and a couple more passes, all the way up, all the way down. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll move on. Move on to our calves. One more. Nice. All right, calves. If you've taken foam rolling with me before, you've probably done this. Mine, for whatever reason, probably from all the jumping we did yesterday, are actually kind of sore today. So go ahead, put your left leg on the roller right at the ankle. Cross the right leg over. Now, if as you're doing this, this just is like, nope, calves are on fire, it's too painful, whatever. The thing is, you can always bring your foot to the side here instead and help there, instead of having that additional pressure, and you can work up to that later. So hands by your sides, lifting up, rolling the length of your calves, setting your butt down if you need to, pulling it on back. Let me scoot back a little bit, there we go. So rolling the full, and right now I just have my foot in a neutral position. It's not rolled out, it's not rolled in, it's just neutral. We will do those other 2 spots. Full length and back. There is no shame in rolling, sitting down, and rolling again. Totally fine. I do not care how you get through this, and I understand that actually lifting your body weight and rolling it using your arms is quite an arm workout. So adjust as necessary. You've got 2 more here, and then we're going to do the same exact neutral spot, middle of the calves, on the other side. Nice. Good. Switch to the other side. So now I have my right ankle right there. It's kind of right where at my Achilles, and my left leg on top. You can always, again, bring that foot down if it feels like too much pressure, if it's too intense, and roll. Oof. Nice. So when I was a professional runner, I used to get Charlie horse cramps in my calves in the middle of the night, easily 5 out of 7 nights out of the week. Like every night pretty much, waking up with a calf cramp that sent me to tears. And this is when like rolling wasn't popular, you didn't do it. This was, you know, easily 15 years ago. And then I met a body worker who was like, have you thought about rolling? You should try rolling. And I was like, what is this thing? And he was like, just roll your calves for 15 minutes a day. Like, I don't care when you do it. It doesn't matter if it's before your workouts, after your workouts, at a random time, just roll. And I started doing that. And literally I maybe get calf cramps now. Granted, I don't run as much as I used to, but at that time I was running. I probably get calf cramps like 5 times a year now, which is crazy. And if you've ever seen my legs, like I have some big old calves, right? Like it was amazing. It was a lifesaver. All right, we are switching back to the left. This time we are rotating from the hip, not from the knee. We are rotating out and then putting our foot back on top or to the side, your choice, and rolling the outer part of our calf. Again, I think I'm rolling off the screen a little bit, but outer part of our calf. So it's just amazing to me, like how much we can actually do to eliminate kind of the basic ailments that we have, like crimping. Like improve your nutrition, do some foam rolling, makes a big difference. Good. 3 more passes. And if you're watching this later, or if you're watching it now and you want to do it later, all the rolls we're going over right now are just like great, and you don't have to do them as long as we're doing them, but they're great for just like daily. Like you're not gonna be over rolling. Let's switch to the other side. So like in an ideal world, I would say to every one of my clients, every one of my students, like roll all of these areas that we're rolling before and after a workout, if you have the time, right? Like if life was a quarantine all the time and you just had limitless time, I would say spend time rolling, because you'll be amazed at kind of all you're doing is self-massaging, right? Like we can't all afford, as much as I love going to get a massage myself, like we can't all afford to go to a massage therapist every single week or every single day. So this is your way of self-massaging that can literally have amazing results in your body. Good, let's do 2 more. And as you can tell, I keep setting my hands down because this side is hard. My right side is my dominant side and it's so painful. Oof. 1 more. Beautiful, now we gotta turn in. So rotate from the hip, we rotate it out. Now we are turning in, we are crossing the other leg over and rolling. I think all movement practitioners will tell you they should foam roll more. They love the way they feel after foam rolling. I think most clients will say that also, but why don't we do it, right? Like, we just don't make it important enough, I think. And it always feels like there's not enough time in the day, but the reality is all the things we want to do, we find time. So I feel like it has to be one of those things that you like Netflix your favorite show and do it. 2 more. And just be like, if I'm gonna watch Netflix, I'm gonna foam roll. Seems like a fair compromise. Last one. Good, other side. Oof. I'm gonna shake out my arms for a second because they're getting tired. All right. Turning that right leg in, putting that left leg on top. Crazy, see, on the internal part of my right leg, not as painful as the external part, but the internal part of my left leg was super painful. The body is crazy, just like life. It does whatever it can to keep us moving. Builds up all these imbalances. I'm like pretty sure if we truly figured out all of our imbalances, we would fall apart. Like, we don't realize how much our body is like working to hold us together. Keep going, we have 4 more passes. That's 1. Good. And we might go actually a little bit past time. We'll see. Can't really see the clock. 1 more. Beautiful. All right. Come up there. Shake out the arms. Let's go to the back. Let's go to the lower back first. So let me scooch myself forward a little bit. So put it right behind your back. You're gonna decide right, left side. I am actually going to turn away from you so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go onto my right lumbars. My spine is right here. My spine is right off of the roller. It's not touching the roller. And I'm gonna roll from the top of my glutes to those lower ribs. It's not a very big space. But you may have a sensitive spot in there, and that sensitive spot is where your QL and your psoas connect. Your QL, make sure you don't fall side to side, keeps you upright, and your psoas is front and back. And they insert there, and they can be sensitive because, again, we spend too much time seated. 2 more passes, and then we'll switch to the other side. Nice. Let's do the other side. Ooh, somebody else joined us. Who else joined us? Amanda Jane. All right, we're just at the tail end, Amanda, actually, but you can watch the replay later. So again, top of the glutes, rolling to those lower ribs. We're not touching our spine. Breathing. If you spend a lot of time seated, all of the rolling we went over today can be super beneficial for you. Also, just force yourself to get up, right? Especially while you're working from home and you can get lost in things. Like, set a timer, every hour get up, or every hour get up and do one of these rolling movements. Whatever you can do to get yourself out of that like seated, scrunched up position will be super beneficial to your body, and you'll feel so much better later. Breathe. A couple more passes, then we're gonna go to that mid to upper back. And then we'll be done for today, actually. And next time we'll do some other stuff. I'll tell you, for rolling, some great tools to have at home are a foam roller, some sort of a small ball, so like a lacrosse ball, a pinky ball that they sometimes use in Pilates, tennis balls. Tennis balls can get kind of soft quickly, but they're easy to find, so that's great. Those are great. And then a softball or something the size of a softball that's a little bit dense. So, or even maybe slightly larger than a softball, like that you play physical softball with. Good. With those tools, you can like mostly roll out any part of your body. So let's go ahead and put this now right where our bra line is. And if you're not wearing a bra, just think kind of below the lower part of the ribs, the shoulder blades. Sorry, the lower part of the shoulder blades. If you have hair, grab it. If it's not pulled up already, hands behind your head, lift your hips off the ground. As you roll towards your head, drop your head down. As you roll back towards that bra line, crunch forward. The whole time, keeping your butt off the ground, allowing those elbows to drop out to the side. And for you to really get into your traps, your rhomboids, your lats. Breathe. We have a full minute here, which may feel like a long time, or you might be like, this is the best thing ever, because this one is often a favorite of many people. Let me just scoot down a little bit. Especially if you sit at a computer all day, because you are hunched forward, and this is going to help you get out of that. For me, I breathe in. As I drop my head down, I breathe out as I head forward. Typically, in training, strength training, we breathe with effort, right? So the harder part of the move, so going against gravity, is where I'm going to breathe out, where I have to put more effort. And that additional effort comes in that crunch forward. 2 more. Good, 1 more. Awesome. So now let's mobilize the spine just a little bit. So again, finding where that bra line is. And all I'm going to do is just, I'm not moving forward and back, but I am kind of arching over that roller as feels appropriate for my spine and forward. So back over that roller and forward. We have 3 more. Hands are supporting the head and neck. Breathe. 1 more. Good. Now I'm going to move it up 1 vertebrae. So that's it, 1 vertebra. And down, and back up, breathing. And we'll do that one more time. Beautiful. And move it up. One more. Nice. 3 more. This is it. Then we're done for today. Last one. Nice. Good job. Thank you for making the time for yourself.